But anyway, next one for me, Living Daylights.
Ooh,
Surprise, actually. I thought this was going to be a lot higher. Yeah. Um, and it's lower than License to Kill. That would not have been the case 5, 6 years ago. But Living Daylights, it's a yeah. I think after the Roger Moore tenure of 12 years, this would have been something of a shock to audiences. But to me, I love this whole back to basics approach. I think Dalton. We probably should talk about Dalton actually, because
mm,
I think he's I think he's awesome as Bond. I think he's a spectacular Bond. I think what he wasn't always my favorite. I think what really changed my perspective on Timothy Dalton was Daniel Craig, firstly, um, and later on was reading the books. It's now got to the point where I can't. Whenever I read the books by Ian Fleming, which is not that often, by the way, but whenever I do read them, I see Dalton's face. I think he's a terrific Bond, and I think he's great here. I fully believe that he is a British secret agent slash assassin who could kill you, no second thoughts. Yeah, I think he looks good. He got the physicality. He's not muscular, but he is athletic. And unlike Roger Moore, I believe he can kill someone. Um, I love the song by Aha. It's one of my favorites. I love the whole score actually by John Barry. This was his last one, wasn't it?
it was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't do last. Who did like? Was it Michael Kamen?
Michael Kamen, yeah, who
Yeah,
did
yeah, yeah,
Die Hard and
yeah. Lethal Weapon.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Living Daylights, I think, is also. I don't think the second act or the second half of the film is as good as the first in Vienna and whatnot and Europe. You know, when they go to Afghan, which is again very of its time with the whole Rambo free with the Soviet war in Afghanistan and the Mujahideen, who would later become the Taliban. uh, yeah, I think what. So yeah, I don't think the second half is as good as the first. I also don't. I think the villains are quite poor actually in this film. They're not memorable at all. Like Whitaker and oh, what's his name? Koskov.
Mm,
Uh,
okay.
like there's a reason why Whitaker's not in a video game. Do you know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, I do like The Living Daylights. I think it's a fun little Bond thriller in the vein of From Russia with Love.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
Uh, I'll share my thoughts when I get to it.
yeah.
Just to let you know, we won't be getting to it for a while, but
Oh, really?
mm,
Oh, okay, cool, awesome.
okay. Next one, Your Eyes Only.
Same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got a few overlaps. But yeah, For Your Eyes Only. It has been the one that I've seen the least.
same.
Uh, uh, but yeah, I just feel that it has a bit more of like an edge to more, almost sort of changing, like overcompensating for Moonraker, almost.
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole reason it exists.
Yeah, and I do like a lot of it, like a lot of the elements to it.
Hmm.
Especially that I think the one moment that sticks out, I think sticks out for a lot of people, is well, I forget his name, but he's in the car, like on the edge, and Bond's
Yes.
like,
Yeah. Lock.
there we go.
Yeah. And he
That's a
and Roger Moore kicks the car over, which is a very un-Moore thing to do, but it's so badass. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's one of my favorite moments actually. Even before I liked For Your Eyes Only, I'd see that clip and I thought, oh man, that's Timothy Dalton esque. Do you know what I mean?
You left this with Ferrara, I believe.
But yeah, For Your Eyes Only, yeah, I never watched this film. Like this was always the one that I would avoid. I always thought it was really bland, like totally insignificant, nothing to it. There was nothing special about it. But then around the time I was like 18 years old, I don't know, like just something about it just really stuck with me. And there are like some odd bits in it, like the whole car chase with the Citroen. Like that feels something Moonraker-ish, and it's totally jarring with like the bit later on where he kicks, the car with lock in.
Mm.
I think the villain Christatos is weak, partly because we don't know he's the villain for like half the film. They do that twist where it's like it's not Columbo, it's Christatos, and it's like, oh, okay. And there's nothing distinguishing it about him or anything. Yeah, but I really like For Your Eyes Only nowadays. I think yeah, I would happily rewatch it, which is not the case 10 years ago. Um, if I wanted to be cynical, I think the argument could be made that this is when Moore started to look his age.
Would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, but I think they handle it really well. Like the whole thing with that young lady, is it BB doll? Who's like this teenager who just like lusts after him. That was like creepy, but they don't go through with it. Like he rejects her.
Yeah,
that would not have happened in A View to a Kill. He would have jumped in that bed. I'm telling you.
Mm.
Um,
the climax of it with the rock climbing.
Brilliant.
That was
Brilliant. But again, I didn't appreciate that when I was a kid. Like it was like within the pantheon of great stunts, like the car in Man with the Golden Gun, the bit in GoldenEye at the start. Like I always thought that this like paled in comparison. When I rewatched For Your Eyes Only recently, I was hooked. Like I was like gasping. I thought it was awesome. Yeah, yeah, brilliant. We've got to stop agreeing.
Yeah, I know. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Octopussy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I agree.
You rank it higher than me.
Not by much. Not by much.
Then again, I think we're in the part now where it's like it's kind of interchangeable. Like these are like the good films. Yeah.
I find it a bit more fun than Your Eyes Only.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it just seems to be a bit, especially like the ending with the train chase. And yeah, all right, you see him dressed up as a clown, but he's there for a purpose. He's trying to like infiltrate and try to get on it, like a literal ticking clock.
Yeah, and I think it's the fact that his makeup is so on point.
Yeah, I just like the whole like last act and the climax to it.
Yeah, yeah,
and that I would. I feel for any film, if the climax is weak, you don't tend to watch it again. You don't tend to like enjoy it so much on another watch because oh yeah, this is where it gets a bit meh.
Well, it's the last thing you see, so it's fresh. It's the freshest thing in your mind. Yeah.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. That's not much to add to yours.
Yeah. No. Octopussy, good one. One of the easiest to watch, I think. I think that's the one I'd recommend to like a Bond virgin. I think so anyway, because I think it just has all the it has all the elements there, and it's just a really fun, easygoing watch. In saying that, it does have like the most ridiculously complex plot with the whole Fabergé egg. Like honestly, you need like a conspiracy theory board to trace is that the real egg or is it the fake one? But yeah, other than that, I think it's
That was the only bit. The bidding
oh,
scene was there in the
the
book.
auction scene. Yeah, that's from the short story, A Property of a Lady.
Property of a lady. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
that whole auction scene is the short story.
okay.
Because it's
So it
about
wasn't.
because it's about like in the short story the egg is like they're trying to find out who's it's like used to like finance Russian espionage, and they like want to see who's the agent because whoever bids for it is the agent basically, or something like I can't quite remember, but yeah, yeah. Next one, License to Kill.
I'm surprised at that for you.
What, that it's this low or this high?
Yeah. There's this low.
Yeah, I really wanted to, this is like the one that I really wanted to put in the top 10. I think because I've always liked this film a lot. I think this is like the Marmite film of the franchise. Like people hate it, it's like their least favorite, or it's like the best. For me, it's so different to all the other Bond films, for better or worse. I mean, it doesn't really at times it doesn't even feel like a Bond film. It feels like a Miami Vice crossover. You know what I mean? It almost feels a bit too real, I think. Because it has none of the flamboyance of like the Roger Moore films or anything like it before. You know, you've got Felix getting his leg gnawed off and Bond going rogue, which was revolutionary at the time. You know, in all the Craig films, he goes rogue, so it doesn't feel special anymore. But at the time that License to Kill came out, it was very special. Um, I think Dalton is Bond in this. Like he just owns every scene he's in. Like he's just awesome. Um, there are. I think the reason why it's not in the top 10 is because why isn't it in the top 10? I don't even know why it's this low. I think it's just yeah, the humor isn't there. Like that's the one thing about Dalton is that he can't do like the one-liners, which I think is integral for a cinematic Bond. Like he just can't pull it off. Like there's a bit in Living Daylights, you know, when they're in the car and he like lasers the car going by in half, and the lady asks him, "Oh, what happened?" And he just looks at her and he goes, "Salt corrosion." Now, if Roger Moore had said that, he'd have said it with like an eyebrow raise and a wink. When Dalton says it, he's delivering it like he's playing Hamlet. There's like so much intensity. It's the same in License to Kill, like he's almost too intense. And there's a bit near the end where, oh shit, I don't remember who it was, but they go through the wall and they get like impaled. And Dalton just, yeah, and Dalton just says, it looks like he came to a dead end. And it's like, it's just so flat. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like he just can't do like the humor and the one-liners. But yeah, it's such an interesting Bond film, and it does get better the more I watch it. And I always find like little things in it that I didn't see before. I feel like there's too much going on at times because it feels like obviously it's a basic revenge thriller, but then they had like this subplot in about Stinger missiles and stuff and the whole like you know that televangelist Joe Butcher, which is a whole riff off of Jim Baker and all them fraudsters and charlatans and whatnot. And it's just like I don't really need this in the film, but yeah, License to Kill. I really wanted to put it in the top 10, but I think I've got it number 12 actually. But the tanker chase is awesome.
Yeah.
That's
The
all.
music in it, the score in it.
I was about to say Michael Kamen's score is awesome. I
Yeah.
wish he'd come back actually to do GoldenEye, but I think most people would. I think Christ, I think I could have done the soundtrack to GoldenEye, but Yeah. License to Kill.
We'll come back to this. We
Do
will
you
come
like
back
the
to this.
scoring? Yeah, because you've got License to Kill higher, haven't you?
Yeah, but both your points we'll come back to.
Yeah, but License to Kill, really like it, and I rewatched it quite a bit actually. Yeah.
Live and Let Die. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was all right. Introduction to More, solid.
Yep.
Can't fault his performance at all. Yeah, some of the chasing. The crocodile thing had a bit of campiness to it. You had the boat chase.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's that sheriff's name?
Sheriff J.W. Pepper
There we go. Oh,
of the Louisiana State Police.
yeah. He's he's definitely funny there. Yeah,
The best
I liked
character
it.
in the whole franchise.
Considering how little screen time he had, and he popped up in Man with the Golden Gun, but just in this
Yeah,
film,
why would a racist redneck go on holiday in Thailand? Come on.
but how little screen time he had,
Yeah.
he definitely made an impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Next one for me. You Only Live Twice. Right. Everything in You Only Live Twice. I love the Japanese setting. I think that's really cool. Seeing Japan in 1967, really cool. Donald Pleasance is the best Blofeld for my money. He doesn't have the physicality, but I think he makes up for that with just sheer menace. I like the Bond girls, Kissy Suzuki, and is it Aki, the one who dies? Tiger Tanaka is a good ally. He's up there with like Kerim Bay for me as one of the best allies of Bond. Ironically, the one thing I don't like about the film is Bond himself. Bored does not even cover how Sean Connery acts in this film. He is listless. He is bored. Autopilot. I could conjure up a myriad of adjectives to describe Sean Connery in this film. And that's the thing, like in Thunderball, like we didn't obviously care that much for Thunderball, but at least it has Connery on his A game. In this one, he's just, there's just no twinkle in his eye. There's no spark. There's no light. There's just nothing. And there's two scenes that I think are sort of emblematic of this. The first one is the scene with Moneypenny. Those are usually like the highlights of those films, but here in You Only Live Twice, there's just nothing. It's like, and it's very odd to me that Sean Connery, one of the most charismatic actors, can just turn off charm like a switch. Like there's just nothing. He's just dead behind the eyes when he's talking to Moneypenny. And the worst one is later on in the airplane that it's crashing. I don't care how cool you are, you would be freaking out at that moment. And Connery has this look on his face like he's just put on the wrong coloured socks or something. He's like, oh, well. It's like there's a fucking crate. You're in a plane that's about to crash and explode. And he just has like this vacant, withdrawn expression on his face. Like he just doesn't give a fuck at this point. And it really like puts me off the film. The whole him going Japanese, I just find it hilarious. Like it doesn't bother me. Like it's so stupid. Like the fact that would fool anybody. Yeah, You Only Live Twice. This could have been like top 5 for me because everything works in it. The Ken Adams set, the volcano set is it's one of the best examples of set design ever. Like that set cost $1 million. Like that cost more than the whole of Doctor No. I love the song by Nancy Sinatra, but yeah, Sean Connery just lets it down, unfortunately. Yeah, ironically, yeah.
Oh, are you sitting down? Well, you are sitting down for this. But I think good job you are sitting down because my next one is. Are we in the top 10 now? Or is this 11?
I'm about to go into the top 10.
So this is my 11th. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Goldfinger.
Oh, Jeff, you're breaking my heart. Really? I thought you
Yeah.
loved this film.
It's funny that rewatching it, again, there's the whole rose tinted glasses
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
People
yeah, yeah.
the solidification of who he is. A lot of the like the stories there, the gadgets are there, but like the whole again 21st century attitudes coming into play here. Don't attempt rape on someone who you presume to be a lesbian. I mean, I think that should be like, the default position, But like watching it with like over romantic music over it, it's like I do admit it has put a sour taste in my mouth.
As it,
And
as it.
I'm not sure if it's fair or not. And I do get it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, 60s, blah, 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 blah. But again, I'm I'm a 20-something-year-old watching something in the 2020s. Okay, yeah.
Thing is, and worry, I'm always in danger of being frivolous in these matters, but I think it never really bothered me that bit. I think partly because it's worse in the book.
It definitely is. Only
It,
book I've read from Ian Fleming.
yeah. It's far worse in the book because it's basically just like, oh, lesbians don't exist. They just need a good D, um, a good
Here's
slice.
a question. Why
Yeah.
do books at the time, or maybe not even just that time, but it's like going on a random tangent about a character's like breast size. It's like,
Because that defines their character by their logic.
oh yeah.
Funny tangent. You know, in The Man with the Golden Gun book,
Yeah.
it's heavily implied that Scaramanga is gay. Do you know why?
Why?
Because he can't whistle. So according
Okay.
to Fleming's logic, if you can't whistle, you are as gay as the day is long. Now his neighbor was Noel Coward, so maybe Noel Coward just couldn't whistle, and he just thought, gays can't whistle. But he says it with like no irony in the book. He just presents it as fact. But yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, thing is, I think the scene with the lady at the spa in Thunderball is far more dirty and egregious than the scene with Pussy in Goldfinger. For me, anyway. It's funny, the scene where Bond converts Pussy using the power of his cock in Goldfinger. I just found it hilarious, but in Thunderball, when he like blackmails that lady at the spa, that just never sat well with me. So but they're both pretty much the same thing. So it's weird how one bothers me and the other doesn't. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I'll talk about Goldfinger anyway. But do you have anything else to add about Goldfinger?
Maybe not about Goldfinger, but can we talk about the choice of names?
The double entendres.
Double entendres. It's like I think the most egregious is Octopussy. Like even in the 80s, people will be walking past that and like I don't know, kids will be looking at and just sort of, like laughing to themselves. Why are you laughing? Oh, nothing. Just that.
I know,
That sort
but
of.
can you imagine if they used it in the title song?
Yeah, I think that's the only one where they didn't use it in the title. So like,
I wonder why.
Spy Who Loved Me was Oh, the
They
song
do. They
was.
do. The Spy Who Loved Me. It is a lyric.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do say it.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, but trying to think. I mean, there's loads of double entendres in Bond that went way over my head. Like Good Head. I didn't get that till I was like 18. Like I would hear people snigger about it, and I just thought, I don't get it. But then it was weird. But as soon as I turned 18, I was like, a blowjob joke, classy. But
Or I
there's
thought,
loads like that. There's like a Jenny Flex in A View to a Kill, genuflex, as in like you kneel down. Um, there hasn't been any recent. Well, what was the last like double entendre in Bond? Like saucy name on a
I
top?
thought Christmas comes once a year, or whatever the joke
Yeah,
was.
Christmas Jones. Yeah, that's yeah.
But in Craig era, don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No,
Little,
not that I can think of. But yeah, anything more to say about Goldfinger?
not really. I guess you have stuff to say when it comes to yours.
Yeah, we're in top 10 now.